Hey guys, I hope you're having a good day. For those that don't know me, I'm Jim Reaper, an admin in the Shiny Hunters Discord. I've also led a few guilds since I've been in the Realm community. Death Poets, a free speech guild, and then Truth, a Christian guild. I was an officer in Osanc back in 2023 when it was still running. I just wanted to explain my most recent video, Law-Abiding Realm Player. My video was made as both a critique and meme about the dungeon hosting community. That being said, there is some real truth about corruption that happened on major raiding discords in my experiences. Today I wanted to share it with realm players and raiding discord staff members who don't see what happens under the hood on these servers. Regarding all the screenshots you'll see in the video, I've been sitting on these screenshots for years. I kept quiet about these for a long time. I'm not usually one to cover drama, nor was I in any position to be heard. Now that I'm an admin in Shiny Hunters though, that changes things. I'll be talking about the Osanc server merger, corporate sludge from the raiding community, backpedaling, and Dungeoneer's policing. For anyone who doesn't remember Osanc, it was a ROTMG raid hosting server that pretty much exclusively ran Auric Sanctuary runs. Before 2023, you also had servers like Pest Control for Nests, Shatters Discord for, well, Shatters, and Fungal Cavern Discord for Fungal Caverns. Back then, pub halls saw a rise in activity due to branching out and creating their own Exalt section. Players no longer had to jump around to multiple servers in order to find a run. Going to one server for all of your raiding needs wasn't a new concept by any means. You had servers like Null and Space Station Gaming, but this was the first time it was happening on such a large scale. It's important to understand that pub halls in Osanc were affiliated servers with a large group of cross-upper staff. During the 2023 year, pub halls used a bad wave of Trial Raid Leader, or TRL, apps as an excuse to end the partnership between Osanc and pub halls. This was the cover for pub halls to strong-arm Osanc into closing down. And pub halls Glazers out there that start typing in the comments, But Jim Reaper, Osanc and pub halls were started by the same people. Therefore, taking back the Osanc server was completely justified, because it was theirs in the first place. No, that's not how that works. Osanc had its own thriving raiding section, staff team, and roam clearing community. It was its own thing, which is why it was called an affiliate server, not a subjugate server. In the video, the first image shows stats on total runs. When I was an officer in Osanc, we did the monthly security scrub, where we checked how many successful runs raid leaders were leading, how many runs were successfully parsed by securities, and how many messages were being sent on the server overall. Here's the other image I showed about monthly runs overall. Both of these images prove that Osanc had great activity. In truth, it was never about the numbers. Pub Hall's upper staff should have never had access to our TRL application data because it was a conflict of interest. Osanc didn't fall because we weren't putting up the runs and didn't have the numbers. It fell because Pub Halls wanted it to. That's why Pub Halls had its own exclusivity rule, and it still has that exclusivity rule today. Those who poison others fear being poisoned themselves. While we're on the topic of poison, now is probably a good time to begin discussing all of the corporate sludge Pub Halls keeps locked behind staff chats. After they tactically forced Osanc to shut down, they permitted all prior Osanc upper staff members access to their staff chats. This includes staff announcements and server discussions, which were typically imbued with corporate speak, and even sometimes involved strategy discussion on how to keep the rest of the community down. For example, my video has two screenshots from two staffers discussing why it's important to keep exclusivity and keep their rating guides confidential. Quote, "It's info that potential competition could use," and quote, "There could be competition if someone just took our guides and ran away with them." Yeah, you heard that right. Pub Halls is more concerned about people joining their staff team, copy-pasting their guides, and running away with them, than they are helping other communities with ROTMG and helping those people learn dungeons and mechanics. Is there something wrong with that? Not necessarily, but this isn't some Fortune 500 company. These are ROTMG players on a Discord. I also share DMs with Arns. He stepped down from officer. And it's because mods weren't hearing him out on the officer team. Geez, feel sorry for you guys. You know it's bad when your own upper staff team have such a strong echo chamber between mods and officers that they won't even hear each other out. Regarding shiny hunters, you can ask Vash, a warden on shiny hunters, basically an officer, or war criminal, who's a security that, honestly, him and I often disagree. We have very different perspectives on running the server. If they disagree with me on an issue, they will ping me and let me know, and we welcome that. I'm more than willing to have a discussion. In pub halls, not so much. This part doesn't involve me so much as it involves Sue. For context, he's in some of these screenshots because he was a mod for Osanc. Sue's the #1 prod trickster player in the game by fame, and he's the best famed cult trickster skill-wise, no contest. And his favorite prism is coin. And he's also one of the best bot developers we have in our community. One of his friends was an Exalt leader who barely made quota in pub halls. If you've never been staff on a raiding Discord or have only led with shiny hunters, you might be looking at your screen right now thinking, wait, Jim Reaper, what is quota? And for those of you who are thinking that, I'm envious of your fortunate raid leading and security staff experience or lack thereof. Let me explain. Run quotas are a set number of raids led or raids parsed that you have to meet in order to keep your role. Think of it as a minimum you are expected to do every week to keep your job. Except in this example, you get no pay. Sue's friend met the quota for Exalt Leader, a very basic role that requires little to no raid leading experience, and put up a run a month. However, Pub Hall still demoted him. After Sue asked if they could re-promote back to EL, they vehemently denied his request. Now to be fair, Sue was kind of memeing him here in some of these images, but still, they would rather argue with one of their most gifted developers for 30 minutes than give a guy his role back that they mistakenly demoted. Guys, this is a Discord server. They were talking about EL like they were paying these people 100k a year salaries with bonus packages for people that met their quotas. The sad thing is, the only real thing here is the quotas that they're expected to meet. No money for you. Pub Halls banned me for the first video. Here's the screenshot of the ban. Now in DMs they claim that's not why they banned me, but I mean, come on. They banned me on the same day I released my exposed video, and they expect us to believe that I was banned for poaching staff? All I did was send 2 or 3 friends invites to shiny hunters. That's it. One was a month ago in September, and then there were a couple I invited that I was friends with that also were upper staff in pub halls. My thing is, if that's poaching, what do you guys call it when you do the same to Oryx Sanctuary, except you guys do it to Oryx Sanctuary to the point that you wipe it off the map? You guys poached Oryx Sanctuary to extinction. Not to mention, there was no warning for the things that happened in the last 6 months, apparently, of this poaching. No warnings at all. Didn't kick me, didn't sternly talk to me, even though Grizzle and the others are supposed to be, at least I think, friends. Anyways, they wouldn't ban me if they weren't scared of what I'm saying, and that's because it's the truth. The poaching accusation is just a cover. When I met Death Daddy, Dungeoneer's owner, we were on really good terms. I was running Death Poets at the time, and he reached out and asked to affiliate with us. We affiliated, and now my guild and multiple others were partnered with Death Daddy and Anti-Cheat to stop people from cheating in Realm of the Mad God. What a crazy fantasy. I was reporting cheaters for a while, by the way. Why? I thought I was doing some good in the community. I don't think I realized I was reporting to a group who were going to actively use that power to control other communities, but shocker, that's what happened. Earlier this year, I was promoted to admin in Shiny Hunters. The moment that happened, Dungeoneer is in my DMs, demanding that I remove a developer, Marbles, from the Shiny Hunters staff team for real-world trading. I don't support real-world trading, by the way, but what business does Dungeoneer have telling Shiny Hunters who to promote and demote from their staff? What business did I have as a brand new admin to tell this developer that was there before I was there to get lost? I didn't. So we didn't meet their demands, and as a response, they removed Death Poets, a guild I made a long time ago, from their affiliate list. That's what this long Reddit-style brain-dead argument is about. Now, anti-cheat has the right to add and remove whoever they want from their affiliate list, but the why is very important here. See, Classy Meow would tell you that it's because, oh, Death Poets was racist. That's why we removed them. We here's my exposed video on how racist they are. Look at all the things they say. But he removed Death Poets the same day he made his document about Shiny Hunters. And of course, guess who the admin of Shiny Hunters is? Me. Granted, I don't run Death Poets anymore. I haven't for years. But do you really expect people to believe that Anti-Cheat removed a guild that an admin in Shiny Hunters was associated with on the same day they released their exposed high school essay as a coincidence? We wouldn't bend the knee and suck them off, and they retaliated with every attack they could find. Death Poets was removed because Anti-Cheat is obsessed with anything it can't control, and wanted to take it out on Death Poets. Hell, they preach TOS, but Deca themselves don't even care about their own TOS. They don't enforce it. I want to know who died and put Dungeoneer in charge. Anti-cheat? They are anti-cheat. Maybe Deca Akalos put them in charge. Anyways, all you really need to know about anti-cheat is that they're just a puppet daughter police server for Dungeoneer, so they can go around and bully and boss other people around. As these servers are at the time of making this video, don't join the staff teams for these shitty discords. You're better off joining Shiny Hunter staff where we have no rating recs, no VCs, and no quotas, or some guild that does runs if you want to keep your sanity. I understand being a member there if you want to maximize your runs, that's cool. But don't think for a second that these people really care about you, because they don't. I think RealmOfTheMadGod deserves better, and that's why I'd like the conclusion of this video to be constructive. Pub Halls and Dungeoneer have no problem telling others how to play the game, so I think I'll throw my hat in the ring too. Pub Halls, Dungeoneer, remove your vet sections and rating requirements. End mandatory rating VCs that people have to join where they're listening to some 20-year-old college kid. I'm fine with you all having them, but make them entirely optional at least. Quit trying to police the game. Deca isn't going to pay you a dime. If anyone is going to stop cheating or help with that issue, leave it to individual guilds. Just read the Skull of Corruption. The path to hell is paved with good intentions. That's you guys. Use the party system. Let people teach each other how to play in guilds or in optional VCs. Shiny Hunters is killing you guys because we give players a lot more freedom. I hope you'll take my recommended changes for your server seriously. People would have a lot more respect for you guys if you removed this stuff. That's really all from me about the topic. There won't be any more videos about ROTMG like this from me. I prefer to stick to funny, short, comedy edited style videos. This isn't a personal attack on anyone I mentioned, or the rating discords. I just think that many would agree with me that we would all be better off if rating became more relaxed for everyone. No more VCs, no more rating recs, no more crazy upper staff conversations that sound corporate. I just wanted to explain the last video I made because I know it was confusing for many. Also, shameless plug, if anyone is looking for a guild, they can DM me on Discord or in Truth. We give games away, we do Bible studies, we're actually playing other games like Helldivers 2, Roblox, Minecraft. We also support a homeless ministry on our Patreon, so check that out if you like, but that's all from me, guys. Peace.